So now we will take a look at how to import multiple files in one go using in Power BI. Okay, how do we do this one? There's something called folder connector. Folder connector option, right? That one will enable you to load multiple files in one go. So that, for example, in a folder, in a single folder, you have 20 files are there. If you want to load the 20 files in one go, or if you want to combine the 20 files data in a single thing, right? Then you need to load each and every file. Okay, so that is the only option we are left with when you use the get data. For example, all the files are comma separated value files, or all the 20 files are Excel file. So you have a scenario where you need to combine all these 20 comma separated value files. In that case, if you rely on the get data option, the load CSV option, right? So in that case, what will happen is you need to end up loading each and every files. So if you have 20 files, 20 times you need to load it, right? So that is one. That is one. That is the only option you have it. But in order to enable the users or the developers like us, right, or data analysts to load the multiple files in one go, they came up with a solution called Power Connector, so the folder connector. Let me just open the Power BI desktop. So when you select the the folder connector in Power BI desktop, it can ask you the folder name. Okay. So let's wait for a few seconds, because to launch the tool, it will take some time. So now you might be having this question in your mind. Now the question is something like, okay, so what kind of situations I will have to load multiple files in one go? Okay, folder connector option is available. With this, I will load the file. For example, you need to generate monthly summary report. Now you have the data available on a daily sales file. Every day, a comma separated file will get generated. For example, per month, each month we have, let's say, on a 30 days or the 31 days are there. So 31 days, you have 31 days CSV files are there. Let us assume that way. Okay. So in that case, what will happen is you need to, combine all these 31 days data into single file in order to uh, create a report, or the report which should show the monthly sales performance. So unless you combine all these 31 days or 30 days data into single file, it is not possible, right? So the other option is you can load each and every file into Power BI desktop, and then you can use Power Query Editor append feature, using which you can append all these 31 files into single file. But loading each and 31 files one after another will take longer time, and again it's a painful process. Okay, in that case, right, the folder connector is very much helpful. Or another example is something like, see, in the production environment, all the data, one second, let me just check. Yeah, okay, this one is getting launched. So everything is automated in the production environment. Okay, so daily, let's today, end of the day or close of pay, by let's say evening 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. automatically, that specific day, each day's data will get extracted and then pushed to a folder as a CSV file. This one will happen automatically. Okay, so they write some script or some job. So this one go to the source system and then pull the data and put it in a folder as a CSV file. Every day, a specific time, like evening, it's 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., the file will get generated and then it will get pushed to a specific folder. So in that case, what will happen is that folder will have all the 30 days or 31 days data in it in the form of CSV file. So that kind of situations you can usually in the case of data warehouse, the see this is your data warehouse database, okay, and so you have the OLTP database. This is your OLTP database. The OLTP database, they don't keep the historical data. Okay, right? So none of the company, it's not the practice, right? It's not the best practice, and no one will keep the historical data. In the case of OLTP data, let's say you have the order header table is there, order detail table is there, and customer table is there, product table is there, subcategory table is there, category table is there. All these table data, for example, especially importantly, um, the transaction tables like invoice table or order table, these kind of table data will get updated or loaded with the transactional data on a daily basis. The volume of the data is very very high, and if you leave these tables with huge volume of data, what will happen is, right, the performance will slow down. Number one, no historical data will be maintained here in OLTP system. Number two, even see in that case, what will happen is that there is no historical data. So what they do is they come up with some retention strategy. What do you mean by retention strategy? Let me just check whether I'm recording. Yeah, recording is going. The retention strategies, for a specific table, they come each table, right? They come up with some retention strategy. For this table, we need to have 12 months of data in it, or for this table, we need to have 24 months of data, something like that. In the OLTP, anything about 24 months of data, we need to push it to the data warehouse. Right, so we need to push it to the data warehouse in the sense, right, after you extract the data, anything beyond 24 months, it will be archived. They take a backup and then they will push it to the data warehouse. The data warehouse will have 5 years or 8 years historical data. It will be there. For example, a customer orders a product and he cancels the product, and or he makes changes to the existing order. Okay, so making changes to the existing order, canceling the order or raising a new order, all these three transactions will get stored in your data warehouse. Later point in time, if you want to perform some kind of analytics, right? So you need to have the historical data. Again, the data warehouse will have the integrated source system data in it, and also it will have a historical data, and it is time variant and it is non-volatile. That is what is called as data warehouse. Anyhow, don't worry, we'll discuss about data warehouse down the line. The point here is it will have historical data, whereas in the OLTP you will not have 8 years or maybe 1 year, 2 year data will be there, especially in the case of e-commerce, those kind of things. Okay, because you don't need to have the 5 year data here, first of all, because all the business need is as soon as the customer raises the order within the SLA time, on or before the SLA time, we need to ship the products. Once that has been done, why we need to have the data here. So that is the reason why they come up with strength. So first, they have some Excel sheet there. They mention it everything clearly. For we have 24 tables. This table, the retention strategy is for 24 months data. You can have it. This table you can have it for only for 12 months. Something that they would have mentioned everything. Okay. So they mentioned everything. So net in the OLTP database, you have limited volume of data compared to data warehouse. Okay. The number one reason is performance, because this database is accessed by users across the globe, 24 by 7, 365 days, okay, across the globe. Okay. So in that case, right, if you have huge volume of it takes a lot of time. For example, you are looking up a specific product and you want to compare different models, other accessories that are relevant to a specific product. If it takes longer time to show you or display in the browser, right? So obviously the customers will lose patience. They will not like waiting for more time to see whether this product is available or the accessories this product is available, right? If it takes longer time, obviously customer will walk out. They go and order it from some other website. Number one reason is performance. For that reason, they don't keep historical data here. Number two is performance. Number two is security. Okay, security reasons. What they do, right? They allow the analytics users like us, they just read the data from the OLTP system. They don't give read, write, something like that. But still, though they give read access to the source system, so this is called our source system. This is called your source system. The source system, they don't give direct access. Rather, what they do, right? Some customers, what not some customers, most of the customers, all these tables related data, they create some job. That job will store spool the data into CSV file, comma separated value file, and then it will push it to some folder. As a data analyst, we will have access to only this folder. They call it as a staging area. Staging area. So this is a temporary area. So once the source system data, the recent data that is available in a staging area, even the staging area also has some retention period. So here maybe, but this is a temporary area. They will keep maximum 1 month duration only the data in the staging area. Okay, 1 month data only they will keep it here. But whereas in the case of data warehouse, 8 years will be there. So OLTP data, for example, the data warehouse, you have 18 tables are there. Okay, so for these 18 tables, the OLTP data base will generate the CSV files and push it to a staging area on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Okay, and what as a data analyst we do is we go and hit this staging area only, not the OLTP system. If the source system, if the enterprise allows us to directly connect to the source system and extract the data and transform the data, what will happen is it will slow down the performance, because if you join multiple tables, okay, based on your reporting requirement, and then if you extract the data, what will happen? Joins will obviously slow down the performance. On top, OLTP system concurrently accessed by millions of users across the globe. On top, if I allow you to directly hit the source system, it can slow down the system performance. But it will cause sometimes it will cause a serious bottleneck. So to overcome that, they don't give direct access. Instead, whatever the data that you needed for your tables, they will push it here through some script. It's all automated. Okay, every day by 7 p.m. or every day by 2 a.m. These jobs will extract the data on an incremental basis. Okay, so for example, in your order table, you have let's say 0.2 billion records are there. Okay, this is probably, or let's 2 billion records are. These 2 billion records holding 24 months data in it. 24 months data, you have it in your order transaction table. This comes around 2 billion records. So in that case, let's we are not loading every day the 2 billion records into data warehouse. As and when any new instance, any new order gets created, or the existing order gets cancelled, or any changes to the existing order, only those changes, the changed records will get pushed to your staging area. From the staging area, what we do is, since you have data available for 18 tables or 15 tables, let's say you have 18 tables, not 18 tables, you need to load it on a daily basis. For example, 10 tables, you need to load it on a daily basis. Okay, for those 10 tables, the corresponding CSV files, which they extracted on an incremental basis, maybe on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. What are the changes? Only the changed records. Let's as of uh, so today is as of 7th October, as of 7th September, as of 7th September, as of 7th September, your volume of data is 2 billion in the order data. Okay, and today let's say they inserted 1 million records, 1 million records, 1 million orders raised. Okay, so this 1 million record only needs to be captured. This is called your incremental data refresh or incremental data extraction strategy. Okay, every day, right? So 1 million records will get inserted newly in the order table. So each day, whatever the newly inserted records or the changed records only will get extracted from your source system order table, and then it will get pushed to a staging area. This is what your staging area, right? So I was talking about the staging area. This is also database, or it's just it's a folder. Okay, it's a folder. They push these CSV files, and what we do is our job, the data analyst, we create the jobs, or we write scripts to join tables. Sometimes we may have to join 3 or 4 tables, and sometimes we may have to or join. Let's say this order data is available in your the North Carolina, and you have another order data that is available in South Carolina. So in that case, you need to take that data also, right? So you need to combine all the data and put it in a data warehouse. The data warehouse is the centralized one. It is sometimes, most of the time, they will have an enterprise data warehouse. Okay, the enterprise data warehouse will have the data which houses all the locations data in it. Okay, they use cloud system, cloud and Hadoop and all, Hadoop on cloud. Okay, it's a cluster. They use clusters to do the this one, the to do the workload balance, everything. Okay, and everything will be there here. It's a heavy, highly configured system. It will be using a lot of memory and many nodes in a cluster. Okay, so net the data will get pushed to your staging area, the increment, the changed data, only the changed data on a daily basis or weekly basis or so. And this data only we will be eating it, and our job will go and join the tables. If any tables needs to be joined, we need to join it. And also we do some kind of cleaning, data formatting. And in case of any deduplication, in case of any missing values, all the things we will, all data related issues will be addressing it. In addition to that, what we do is we apply some business logic to create some new columns and so on. Okay, so and then what we do is we ultimately we load. So here, the E part is taken care by the source system jobs. Already they, customer side, they wrote scripts. Those scripts will be loaded into staging area as part of E. See, there are three things, E, T, L. So E stands for extract. Okay, E stands for extract, and T stands for transform. The extract part is not our job, most of the cases, but some cases, yes, we need to extract from the source system, and we need to extract the data from, sorry, we need to extract the data from source system and load it in the staging area. Once the data is available in the staging area, which is nothing but a temporary area, we do data cleaning, data pre-processing, everything. Okay, and then the processed data, which means the clean data. Okay, we will load it into our data warehouse. The data warehouse, already you have, let's say you have 5 years of data, and every day when you keep load the data into it, right, the data will keep accumulate, and the volume of the data will get increased like anything in the case of data warehouse. Hope you got some context. So in this case, I'm talking about the staging area. In the staging area, multiple files got pushed here by your job. So what you need to do is you need to use your to create a specific report. So there are scheduled reports, and there are some kind of ad hoc reports. What is ad hoc reports? So the sometimes the business users in a company, they will hold some status call, or they will have monthly review meeting. They will look at the existing report, and they will start discuss about they'll discuss about the issues and concerns, right? And so that is what they will discuss as part of the monthly review meeting. And also in case of anything good, right, so which area we are doing good, so everything they will basically they try to gain insight during the monthly meeting review. So that time, if they find anything fishy, they will ask us to create some specific report. Okay, so there is some issue here. Why don't you generate a report and give it to me? The new report. Okay, so in that case, ad hoc reports, let's say you, as a report developer, it is our response to create this ad hoc report. So in that case, we will go and check whether the data is already available in the staging area. Okay, it is available, but the let's say we have close to 14 files are available in a folder. So you need these 14 tables in order to generate this report. So these 14 files, if you have to load it using get data option, it'll take time, right? Don't think each file is a simple small file. Each file will have, let's 10 million, 10 million records in it, or 5 million, 5 million records. Let's assume that at least 1 million, 14 into 1, 14 million records. So every time you need to click on get data to load each and every file. Okay, so in that case, simply you can go for a folder connector. Once you create a folder connector, it automatically detects all the files that are available as part of the specified folder. It goes and picks up all the files, including the subfolder files also automatically. Okay, so that is one advantage of folder connector. In that kind of situations, this is very much helpful. But what is the prerequisite to load multiple files from a folder? Using folder connector, we can do it. And what are the prerequisites? All the files in the folder and its subfolders should be processed the same way. Okay. And for example, if you select an Excel file, let's say you have in the folder you have a combination of Excel file and CSV file, then it will be some kind of issue. Okay, all the files should be same format, and the column order should also be same. It's 14 files. I told you 14 CSV files are there. All these 14 CSV files are comma separated variables. We don't have a mix of JSON and other types of files. And each file, when you take the first file, right? So the first file you have column 1 and column 2. The order of the column should also be maintained in the same way in all the 14 files. The second file, if you have something like column 2 and column 1 and column 4, right? So the column order is not same here. Sometimes when you combine these two files data, it will get combined, but it will not make any sense. For example, you have a quantity column here, and in this case, the sales column is there here, and then here you have a quantity column. Okay, here you have sales column. Okay, the sales data from this file will get loaded into your quantity column, and and vice versa. Okay, so that is the one problem here. That is the reason why you need to make sure that in all the 14 files, right, the column order should be same, and the data type should also be same. Data type should be same, and the column order should be same, and the type of the file should also be same. For example, CSV file, all the 14 files should be the CSV files. Okay, so this is how you can ensure that the all the 14 files or whatever the number of files which you combine it will work properly. So we need to make sure that all the files in the folder and sub folders have the same file format and structure. Okay, structure in the sense the column order should be same across all the files. Supposing if you want to exclude some of the files, you can select the transform data instead of combine. We have combine and transform data, which we will look at it now. Hope you got the context. What is ETL? Also, I discussed. I gave you an eye level view overview about that. Okay, look here. This is the get data option icon, and I here see even in the case of folder connector, you need to click on this. But all in a folder, I have 14 or 16 files are there. To load the 16 files, you need to click on 16 times here. You need to come here and load it, right? So, but when it comes to folder connector, look here, I'll just show you. And then you need to click on the file. On the right side, you can see the folder option. When you click on the folder, so it'll ask you the folder path name. Look here, what I do is I just go here and I have a folder by the name of NC Daily Sales. And I just click on it here and right click on it and then copy it. And I I come back here and paste it here. So this is my folder name. And what I do is I just take a look at the this folder's file content. Look here in this folder, I have one file and I have a subfolder called APR. If I go to this folder, I can see there is another file that is stored under or copied under APR folder, the subfolder. So NC daily sales is the main folder. So what all the files that are there in this folder, including the subfolder, right, files, that one will also get picked up in the case of folder connector. So in this one, if you watch it closely, right, so APR folder has March data in it. Okay, I just what I will do is before that, I just take some small file so that the comparison will not take much time and you will be able to understand quickly. So we have Feb file and March file, and I just pick up the APR file. I just go back to NC sales folder, and here, okay, Feb one, okay, good. So what I will do is I will remove the Feb file because it has relatively huge volume of data, and okay, ideally it should come here. This one I will move it to NC daily sales. Okay, and if I go here, March.csv here, and then the APR is available in April file is available under the subfolder called APR. So now I just go here. Look here, I just specify the main folder name. That's all. Click on OK. The moment when I clicked on OK, so you can see the March.csv and APR.csv. These two files got detected, okay, by Power BI desktop in the folder connector. Okay, and also you can notice that on the right side in the in a column called folder path, here you can see that march.csv file is available in the main folder and apr.csv folder is file is available under this subfolder. So it automatically picks up all the files, including the subfolder files also it picks up. So next, if you notice it here, you have combine option, load option, transform option. If you select the combine and load option is there. In that case, it will combine these two files data and then it will load it. No, I don't want to combine these two files and then I don't want to load it because let's assume that these two file volume of the data are very high. While combining it, in case of any data related issue, structure related issues, it can fail. Okay, hence I don't choose this combine option, combine and load option, and then combine and transform. Okay, you combine these two files and then transform. You can choose that option, or you can simply load the data and then you can do the data transformation, or you can directly take these to transform data. So for the time being, what I do is I click on load. Okay, let's say the data are available in your case in more than one folder. I have something called NC North Carolina daily sales separate folder is there, and South Carolina daily sales separate folder is there. Okay, so in the case, what I do is in the interest of thing, right? I just click on load because in that folder also I need to specify it and then I need to append everything, right? So in that case, what I do is I don't want to combine and think. Better, I want to load it and then I go to transform data or the Power Query editor two files got loaded. So fine. These two files, right, have in total 36 records in it. February, the March, has March file has 18 records, and whereas the April data has only 18. Only to load this much of data, right? Less data, it takes this much of time. Look here, the NC daily sales folder got data got loaded in this folder, and if you expand this one, you can see something like this. This is something like a metadata, and this is not much helpful. What even if you go and select this one, right, in this thing, you will not be able to see the data here because it just shows the metadata. So when this, well, it just shows the file name and when the file got, when which date this file got modified, when these files got created, which folder, the files we picked up. Only that information, but I cannot see the data. So next, what I do is I just go to the transform data, click on transform data. It took me to the Power Query editor. Okay, here if you see, so you have these, you have column called content and name, and you have extension. This is CSV files and date accessed. All these informations are available. But I'm not interested in all these columns. Okay, what I do is I just select the first two columns. Rest of the columns I don't need it. When you right click on it by keeping the cursor somewhere here in the middle or somewhere, right? So you can see that remove other columns. This is a beautiful feature. If you have 100 columns, out of the 100 columns, you need only two columns. Select only the two columns. Just click on the remove other columns. Rest of the columns will get deleted. Otherwise, what will happen is you need to select each and every column, right? So in this case, this is a a cool feature. Just click on remove other thing. And if you look at here, there is an icon, the double down arrow icon. When you keep the cursor on top, it you can see the combined files. It tells us the combined file. I just click on combine files. So even this column is not required. This just for our reference, I just left it just like that. I just clicked on the combine. I can see that based on 200 rows, it generates the data type, right? It detected the data type, and then it tells me that these files are comma separated CSV files, and it generates something called the sample file. Okay, and we have another option called skip files with errors. I'm not going to choose this one. And actually, in real time scenario, they use something like this. Okay, they say, select this option because the volume of the data is very high, 1 million records. And again, to load the data, the data loading also, right? They have some kind of SLA. So and so data are very critical. They classify the type of the data load as medium, high, and low. Okay, the when it comes to the severity, right? So if the some data are very critical, it has to be loaded at any cost within so and so time. So each job is there are some jobs, okay, will be associated with SLA. What is an SLA? Service level agreement. For example, high critical job should get loaded in a matter of 30 minutes. There is no excuse. So they did a lot of fine tuning. They did a lot of thing. Okay, and so in that case, if any, because of some silly error, if the job fails, you need to reload the entire data again. So let's say you have two files, you need to join it, and these two files have close to 50 million records in it, both files put together. And while loading the data, just because one record, if the entire job fails, let's to load this 25 million records, let's hypothetically say 1 hour, two files, right? To combine these two, let's say 2 hours. Within 2 hours, this job should get consolidate these two files data. Okay, so in that case, just because one or two rows, if I have any error or something like that, the entire job will fail. If the job fails as soon as it gets kicked in, fine, right? So let's say if the job takes 1 hour, if the time, let's say if the file takes 1 hour to load, okay, at the end of the 1 hour, if it fails, you are gone. Okay, so for that reason, we enable, even if there is an error, you can ignore it. We will later on find out what that error. Okay, for example, let's 2 million records, instead of loading the 2 million records, 10 records got rejected. So analyzing the 10 records will not take much time, and at the same time, the remaining records got loaded, right? So if you have to reload everything from the scratch, it will take another 2 hours. Instead, you load all the correct data, reject only the or skip the data which have a error in it. Okay, so you need to choose this option. So in that case, Analyzing the records which have error in it will not take much time. Okay, let's think that way. Okay, fine. So you can select this option in the real time scenario. Okay, can we load multiple fold with combination? That's what I said. You cannot have the different types of file. If you are using CSV, you are supposed to use CSV only. You cannot use the mix of different types of the file. Okay, just click on OK. Okay, so these two files got combined. Okay, now if you see here on the right side, helper queries, there is something called folder called helper queries, and we have something called the parameter one, and then sample file. So it used the sample file as master.csv. Okay, and then let me just do one thing. Okay, so what we did, right? So we can see the steps that we carried out. So we have removed all the columns except these two, and then what we did, I said that's all right. That is the one, and then we have something called transform file. This is something like a parameter. We don't have to worry about these things. Okay, and if you look at here, NC daily sales, this is what we are interested. So you can see that you just scroll towards the right side and see, okay, all the records got loaded. And if you scroll down here, okay, 36 records are there. So, and also you can see it at the bottom here, okay, left bottom, 36 rows and 26 columns are there. Okay, this is very important after you combine the data from more than one file. Okay, in that case, you need to check, right, so how many, but whether you use one file or more than one file, it is always a good practice to check this place. Okay, how many number of records are there, and now how many columns are there. Column profiling based on top 1,000 rows. This is what the column profiling, whatever the valid, error, empty, you see it, right? That is what your column profiling. Okay, so fine, everything is fine. Now what we will do is, sometimes, right, you want to check it manually, right? So how many manually in the sense, not by hand, to check the total number of records, you just click on the transform ribbon, and then here something called count rows option is available here. Just click on the count rows, count rows. Now 36 records are there. So with this, we can conclude that both the files got combined, right? So because the file one, I have 18 records, file two, I have 18 records. That we will go and verify it here. March.csv, if I open it, you will have 19 records are there, including the column header. So there is no point in including the column header. So 18 records are there in your March.csv, and I will just go to the April file. I'll just open it. Even in the April.csv, we have 19 records, excluding the column header. First one is column header, text, right? We don't need it. So in total, we have 18. 18 plus 18, 36 records. This is one way of checking it out, right? The other way of doing it, you just go ahead and click on the count rows. Count rows will tell you how many number of records got loaded. So in the first file, you have 18. Second file, you have 18. So both put together 36 records. These two files got combined now. And you can also go and check the expanded table column one, right? So you just check the right side one. So the steps, okay, you just go and take invoke custom function. Behind the scene, it invoke the custom function, and we will see what is custom function in the later session. Don't worry, okay. Filtered hidden files one, and removed. Expanded table column. So after you clicked on the double down arrow, it will expand your table like this, and then automatically it assigns the data type for each and every column. Okay, that is what is happening. This is transform sample file. So in this case, only 18 records it used. Okay, Only one file, like a transform sample file. Okay, and then we have something called parameter, all the thing. Okay, sample file, everything. Let's not worry about this one. And you just click on the NC daily sales, and then click on file and close and apply. That's all. And if you want to see the source, right, later point time, if you want to verify it, for example, they have already specified everything in a file, report file, and they will give you this report file. Okay, now we have used a folder called NC Daily Sales. I have used the folder connector to import the folder, and I did all kind of combining the files. Okay, you use this file, report file, and generate the report. So in that case, let's say you are curious to know which source that he has used it. Just along with the source, there is a wheel icon. You just click on it. It will show you which folder they used it. Okay, ANC daily sales. This is the folder they used it. You can see this one, and yeah, this is what you can see. So they have used two files. They've used two files in this folder. That idea you can get it here. Okay, and okay. The next step is close and apply. Okay, we are all set now. Or now, what I do is I just select the matrix visual. Under the visualizations pane, you can see something called the matrix. When you hover the cursor on top of the visual, is nothing but the thing right here, the charts and other things. Matrix is also kind of a visual. You will get to know what kind of visual. Okay, when you move this cursor here, this is a table visual. This is your stacked bar. This is a clustered column chart. Now, for the time being, I just go and click on the table. Even I don't need a matrix visual. Now what I do is I just drag and drop the category. Simply drag and drop the columns that you want to make it part of your visual. Okay, or in this case the visual is matrix, and the next one is let you know the sales. Okay, sales has some problem in it because I don't see the sigma icon before the numeric value. Remember one thing very clearly. Once you have loaded the data into your Power BI desktop, no matter what type of source it is, okay, and if you don't see the sigma sign just before the quantitative variable, then something wrong with that column. Actually, sales is a quantitative variable. It's a numeric variable. Actually, it is a continuous variable. Right? It's a decimal number. But I don't see sigma before this. There is something wrong. In this case, sales column has been assigned with the text data type or some other data type other than the numeric data type. There's something wrong here. It needs some kind of fix. Anyhow, let's not spend time here because in the last session we have seen how to convert this numeric data type, right? So we have seen it. And anyhow, I just, for the time being, I just drag and drop quantity here. So I can see that 144 quantity. Okay, if I go to the folder here and let's say in the NC daily sales, if I remove March file here, and if I refresh it again, what will happen? The folder connector, once again, it will go and combine the files, all the files that are available in that folder. Okay, the column return of the table was not found. Okay, what is the problem here? A return is there here. Let me go to the transform data, Power Query editor. We don't see any error also here, but it is showing some problem. Return column is unexpected error occurred. There is an unexpected error occurred, and we can see that here. So, okay, this is the latest version. In the older version, right? So an error occurred. Okay, what I do is I just put the march.csv. I have the backup available in another folder, stu, and I just copy the march.csv, and then I go back to NC daily sales. Okay, what I do is I'll click on the refresh once again. Now it is working fine. Okay, now it is working fine. We don't have any issues. Since I removed it, let me here. Here also have some refresh preview. Refresh all. And encountered error. So it is not showing any error here. Close and apply. So in case of any error, while doing the data transformation or something like that in the Power Query editor, it will not, it will not work here. Okay, it will not reflect here. Let me see here what happens, because I have reloaded this file. I just copied this file back. But still, my Power Query editor has some error in it. Okay, there's something weird. Then the previous version, we don't face this. Look here, now that error went off. Okay. When you use, see, every once in 2 months, the Microsoft, they introduce new features in the Power BI. Okay. If you encounter any error like this, right, something strange, you don't worry. Okay. Maybe it doesn't mean whenever they introduce new features, it's a bug free. Okay. They just in the interest of introducing new features to give a better user experience, they introduce it, but sometimes it will have some kind of bug in it. So that is the reason why even in the case of development environment, we use very less number of records to test all the things. So now we don't have any issues. Look here, if I click on refresh, it works fine. Okay, now you take a note of this total quantity. I will do something else. Instead of removing it, I just go to the stu folder, and then I just copy another apr.csv. I just go back here and then NC daily sales. Not the same file. 1 second. Let me just remove this from here. If I go here and Feb data was not there, I just go and copy paste it. Feb data is there here. Now I just click on the refresh. If you see the quantity here, it will get increased, including the February month uh, quantity, right? You can see increase in the number of units of sold here. March and April put together, we could see that only 144 units sold. Right, so far, but when I include February month, the data here, we can see that the volume got increased like anything. So that means when you click on the refresh, it goes and pick up, it goes and checks your folder whether any new file got included or something like that, and then it will automatically combine that file's data also here. You don't have to redo the same thing. Again, you don't have to go to the transform data, remove, keep only two columns, and remove the rest of it. You don't have to do it. Once you combine two files, right, and next time when you click on refresh, automatically when you push new files, right, on a daily basis, the report will get refreshed. For that, you need to click on refresh here. But let's say you have 800, let's say not 800, let's say you have 50 files, 50 reports are there, 50 different report files are there. Those 50 different reports are completely different, and the folders also different. So do you think practically every day you open each and every file and then click on refresh? That is not possible. That's the reason why in the Power Query cloud service, okay, I just show you here. powerba.com. So here in the Power BI Cloud Service, you need to sign up here. Once you sign up, you'll get the credentials, and once you log in here, right, you can schedule it. So every day by 2 a.m., go and do the refresh. Right. So practically, we cannot we cannot deploy staffs across the locations to each of their location, open each and every file, click on refresh manually. That is not the viable option. Instead, we can schedule it. There is some scheduling option. I will show you later. Okay. And once you schedule it, listen, every day by 2 a.m., this report has to get refreshed. So what it does is automatically every day by 2 a.m., the report will get refreshed with all the files that are available that point in time, right? Let's say 10 2 a.m., whatever the number of files got loaded in the NC daily sales file, that file will get consolidated automatically. You don't have to manually do everything. Okay. But hope with this you understood how flexible this folder connection option, instead of loading the files one after another, and especially if you have multiple subfolders, if you have to do it manually, there could be chances that you might due to oversight, you might ignore some files, right? So that is another confusion. But you don't have to have you don't have to do heavy lifting. It takes care everything automatically. If in case of any files that are available under multiple subfolders, that is also, each subfolder also you have another subfolder, still it picks up automatically. I tested it. Okay. What you do is, you, like you said, right, you ask the question, you put some JSON files, okay, an Excel file along with this, and then you try to combine those two in the thing, right? You combine those two files and try and see if you are able to do it. Okay. Those kind of things you can check it out. So hope you understood with this simple demo how powerful the folder connection option is. Okay.